Gray skies without a shred of light. An incessant, depressing drizzle, scraping ice off your windshield as your fingers go numb. A brown mess of melting snow and muck on the streets. Long, dark afternoons that make you want to sleep entire days. Who doesn't love winters in Europe? You, of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on this video, my friend. Welcome to the club of fellow winter haters. If you've been wondering where you can skip winter in Europe, you're about to discover all the best real options. Not just the warmer and sunnier places, but also places where you can feel like winter is non-existent. But before that, we need to address the common advice of going to Southern Europe and why, in most cases, you're not going to skip winter there. Chapter 1. Not skipping winter in continental Southern Europe. The most common advice to escape winter in Europe is to go to Southern Europe, usually southern Spain, Portugal, Italy, Cyprus, Greece, or France. Are these places much warmer than Northern Europe? Of course! Are they winter-free? Not exactly. Some are better options, some not so much. Instead of expecting to completely skip winter, it's better to think of it as skipping certain aspects of winter, but not escaping it altogether. Let's take the warmest city of southern France, Toulon. Between December and February, average daytime temperatures can reach around 13 to 14 degrees Celsius, 56 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit. At night, average temperatures drop to 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, 43 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're coming from a country with cold winters, like Sweden or Germany, these are mild temperatures in comparison. There's no question about it. But these temperatures aren't high enough to say that Toulon lets you skip winters. On some days, sure. On others, not really. The city may still get, although rarely, snowfall. Temperatures below freezing are also possible. Toulon often experiences strong cold winds that further reduce the feels-like temperature. Late sunrises at 8 a.m. in December will further exacerbate the feeling that you haven't truly escaped winter. You'll still need winter clothes and you'll still feel cold, particularly on the chilly mornings and evenings. As a consolation, Toulon is a very sunny city and still experiences sunny weather between 48 to 58% of the time in the coldest months. This is a vast improvement over an average 19 to 28% for Berlin, 23 to 28% for London, 17 to 29% in Stockholm, or 24 to 30% in Dublin. Okay, but southern France is much colder than cities further south, isn't it? Let's then head to one of the most renowned cities of southern Europe, Barcelona. In the coldest months of December, January, and February, average temperatures there reach around 15 degrees Celsius, 59 degrees Fahrenheit, during the day, and 9 degrees Celsius, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, at night. That's better than Toulon, but is it that much better? While snow is almost non-existent, nighttime temperatures can still drop close to freezing. Cloudy, windy days still bring a wintry sensation. Barcelona also experiences late sunrises, with the sun rising around 8:10 a.m. in December. Thankfully, Barcelona is still sunny in the winter. You can expect sunny weather 48 to 53% of the time. We've improved our winters, but we haven't really skipped them. We may have escaped snow and frost, but we'll still experience chilly days. But we can go even deeper south to the really warm cities, right? Surely there, winter doesn't exist at all. Or does it? Let's go to the southernmost parts of Europe and see what kind of weather we can expect there during the winter. Let's take Malaga, the most populated city that is located that far south in Europe. Malaga holds the record for the highest observed temperature in continental Europe in December at 29.9 degrees Celsius, 85.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Case closed. No winter there, right? Not really. That was an anomaly. The city's average temperatures are different. You can expect daytime temperatures reaching about 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and nighttime temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, 45 to 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Malaga experiences the warmest winters of any European city with a population over 500,000. The daytime temperatures are definitely more spring-like than winter-like. But the temperatures at night are still rather chilly. In fact, they're lower than in Barcelona, so we still haven't escaped this one aspect of winter. Like other Spanish cities, Malaga is also known for very late sunrises. In December, the sun rises as late as 8:30 a.m. In exchange, sunsets are very late for winter. The sun disappears below the horizon only at 6:10 p.m. Malaga is also blessed with a consistently sunny climate. Even in the winter, you can still expect sun 55 to 60% of the time. This makes Malaga the best big city option for those who want to make their winters in Europe more pleasant. Nearby Marbella is also an option. You won't fully skip winter there as cold weather is still possible. But on average, Malaga is so far the closest to our ideal. Can we do even better than Malaga and find a city with higher temperatures? The answer depends on where exactly we're looking for it in Europe. We'll discuss some lesser-known options shortly as a special case of what I call southern-ish Europe. For now, let's focus on other options in continental Europe. But first, do you like this video so far? Are you tired of cold weather and want to move somewhere warm? Please subscribe and hit the notification button to get notified of all future uploads. Let's return to our search for winter-free places in Europe. There are several main regions of continental Europe where you can also expect daytime temperatures around 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and nights that don't go below 7 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Staying in Spain, one such area is Costa Granadina, also known as Costa Tropical. Motril, located in this region, is lucky to have a very mild subtropical microclimate. Mountains north of the city protect it from cold winds, while the African continent to the south ensures warm breezes. In fact, the region's unique microclimate is so mild that it allows for the cultivation of tropical fruits like cherimoya, mangoes, avocados, papayas, guavas, and bananas. So, what kind of weather can we expect there? Daytime temperatures reach 17 to 19 degrees Celsius, 63 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit, which is slightly warmer than in Malaga. Low temperatures are also warmer than in Malaga, at 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, 48 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're happy living in a smaller city of 60,000 inhabitants, Motril presents by far the best option for the mildest winters in continental Europe. Again, with rather chilly nights, we aren't fully winter-free, but much closer than before. Estepona, located 1 hour away from Gibraltar, is blessed with a similarly mild climate. Daytime temperatures hover around 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Nights, meanwhile, are slightly warmer at 11 to 12 degrees Celsius, 52 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Other alternatives with similar warm and sunny weather in Spain include the province of Cádiz, with cities such as Cádiz, Jerez de la Frontera, and Algeciras. This also includes Costa de la Luz, the Atlantic Ocean-facing part of southern Spain. Then we also have Murcia, the province neighboring Andalusia. The coastal parts of the province, like the city of Cartagena with its hot semi-arid climate, provide similarly mild winters. Another Spanish region to consider is the Valencian community with cities like Valencia, Alicante, Castellón de la Plana, and Benidorm offering the same moderate climate. Outside of Spain, the Algarve in Portugal offers similar winters. Cities concentrated along the southern coast, from Lagos to Faro, are all good options. Due to being in a different time zone, this area has earlier sunrises at 7:40 a.m. as opposed to 8:30 a.m. in southern Spain. This, of course, means sunsets that are 1 hour earlier than in southern Spain. Lisbon is slightly cooler than the Algarve but still offers moderate winters. Lastly, we have the warmest English-speaking area of Europe, Gibraltar. This densely populated city is a British overseas territory that enjoys some of the most moderate winters in all of continental Europe. In addition to mild daytime temperatures of 16 to 17 degrees Celsius, 61 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit, Gibraltar's position on the Strait of Gibraltar gives it milder nights. Average low temperatures stay around 11 to 12 degrees Celsius, 52 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a noticeable improvement over Malaga's 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, 45 to 48 degrees Fahrenheit, making the winters in Gibraltar feel less wintry. We have thus exhausted all the best options in continental Europe, but there is a special case of some areas that are equally warm or warmer but aren't located on the continent or even in Europe. Let me explain. Chapter 2. A special case of Southern Europe. Southern Europe extends further than continental Europe. including islands close to the continent like Sicily, Sardinia, or Corsica, and areas that don't belong geographically to Europe but are still considered a part of it. For example, Cyprus, although geographically a part of Asia, culturally and politically belongs to Europe and is a member of the European Union. The warmest city of Cyprus, Limassol, is one of the best contenders for those who want to enjoy very mild winters in Europe. Average temperatures during the day climb to 17 to 19 degrees Celsius, 63 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit, while at night they drop to 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, 48 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. These are exactly the same temperature ranges as in Motril in Spain. Limassol has one of the sunniest climates not only in Europe, but also in the world. Sun shines between 60 to 68% of the time during the winter months. This makes it the sunniest and the warmest European city in the winter. The caveat is that it's an island country, located far away from the rest of Europe. Cyprus also experiences very early sunsets in the winter. In December, the sun sets around 4:40 p.m. So, despite warm and sunny weather, even there you can't fully escape the sensation of winter. In exchange for early sunsets, you get much earlier sunrises than in southern Spain, though. The sun rises at 6:45 a.m. in December. Another island alternative closer to continental Europe is Crete, in Greece. The warmest cities of the island, like Heraklion or Ierapetra, also enjoy moderate winter temperatures between 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, during the day, and 9 to 11 degrees Celsius, 48 to 52 degrees Fahrenheit, at night. Located near Crete, the southernmost island of Europe, Gavdos is even warmer. It records 16 to 18 degrees Celsius, 61 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and 11 to 13 degrees Celsius, 52 to 56 degrees Fahrenheit, at night. The Greek island of Rhodes, located northeast of Crete, is also very warm. Lindos on the east coast of the island records the same temperatures as Gavdos in the winter. For a slightly cooler and less sunny, but still moderate winter weather much closer to Europe, you may consider Sicily. Several cities, including Palermo, Marsala, and Syracuse, enjoy mild winters while offering much easier access to continental Europe. Nearby islands of Pantelleria and Lampedusa are a potential alternative too. The island country of Malta is yet another option similar to Gibraltar in that not only the days are warm, but also the nights stay relatively mild. Daytime temperatures in Valletta, the capital of Malta, reach 16 to 17 degrees Celsius, 61 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Average low temperatures stay between 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, 50 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Lastly, we can't forget about the Balearic Islands, including Mallorca, Ibiza, Menorca, and Formentera. All islands in the archipelago experience moderate winters with daytime temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and nighttime temperatures around 8 to 9 degrees Celsius, 46 to 48 degrees Fahrenheit. They're cooler than continental areas of southern Spain, but still allow an escape from some of the most unpleasant aspects of winter in colder European countries. Finally, we have another option that isn't located in Europe, but due to its political and cultural ties is considered European. I'm talking about the Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla in North Africa. The city of Ceuta is located close to the Strait of Gibraltar. It roughly shares the climate with Gibraltar and Algeciras that are both only about 25 kilometers, 15.5 miles, north of the enclave. Melilla is located further south and features a slightly warmer climate. Average daytime winter temperatures stay around 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and around 10 to 11 degrees Celsius, 50 to 52 degrees Fahrenheit at night. So these are all the options for skipping winter in Europe, in theory. In reality, we have many other options that we haven't yet discussed. But for that, we need to move a little further away from Europe, but still technically stay inside it. Chapter 3: Winter-Free Island Living in Europe. We have 3 additional options to skip winter in Europe while leaving it and at the same time still staying in it. Some of these areas offer summer-like winters that the continent can't offer. We also have some areas far, far away from Europe that are unquestionably, unconditionally, properly hot year-round, yet that are still partly European. But let's focus first on those European, non-European destinations. Let's start with the first, most obvious option, the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands are geographically African, as they're only about 100 kilometers, 62 miles, west of Morocco. This is the leaving Europe part. But at the same time, you're still in Europe, because the archipelago belongs to Spain and feels as European as peninsular Spain. Here, we're getting into properly skipping winter. The warmest coastal regions of the warmest islands have an arid or semi-arid climate with tropical influences. This means the best of both worlds. Reliably sunny weather even in the winter, but without cold nights that an arid or semi-arid climate would otherwise have. For people living in climates with cooler summers like the UK, winters in the Canary Islands are as warm, if not warmer, than their local summers. For those living in climates with warmer summers, winters in the Canary Islands are more spring-like than proper summer. But on average, you won't experience really cold weather unless you go high up in the mountains. Out of the 8 main islands of the archipelago, there are 4 main areas with the warmest and sunniest climates, most resembling summer in the winter: southern Gran Canaria, southern Tenerife, southern La Gomera, and southern El Hierro. Other parts of these islands are slightly cooler or cloudier. These are your best options for skipping winter in this area. We'll discuss those in more detail shortly. There are 4 remaining islands that still have warm weather but are noticeably cooler: Fuerteventura, Lanzarote, and neighboring La Graciosa and La Palma. You'll still be warmer there than in continental Europe, but specific regions of other islands are a much better choice. Fuerteventura, Lanzarote, and La Graciosa experience consistent strong winds, dramatically lowering the feels-like temperature. Even if the weather forecast shows the same exact temperature for Fuerteventura or Lanzarote as for Tenerife, the latter will almost always feel noticeably warmer. Don't get me wrong, many people still love Fuerteventura, Lanzarote, and La Graciosa. Fuerteventura is the second largest island of the archipelago, but enjoys about 7 to 8 times lower population density than the most populous islands. Consequently, it attracts those who want sunny weather without the crowds. Lanzarote is more developed and has more varied landscapes than Fuerteventura while still staying relatively sparsely populated. Neighboring La Graciosa is the smallest and least known of the Canary Islands, attracting those who love unspoiled, quiet landscapes. If you want the warmest winter experience in the Canary Islands, these 3 islands don't offer that though. I went to Fuerteventura and Lanzarote in the second half of October. Despite it being fall and not winter yet, due to the incessant wind, mornings and evenings were already chilly. Because of the stronger influence of a local Canary current, the ocean temperature on both islands is also slightly lower than on the westernmost islands. Speaking of the westernmost islands, La Palma has a different problem making its winters less comfortable. It has wetter, cloudier weather. Again, it's still one of the warmest winter destinations in Europe. It's also the greenest and arguably the most beautiful island due to its lush vegetation. But overall, it doesn't offer the same summer-like experience in the winter as the 4 key areas mentioned before. So let's go back to those warmest and sunniest areas, starting from the east with Gran Canaria. As one of the 2 most populated islands in the archipelago, Gran Canaria is also one of the most popular among tourists. They primarily stay in the sunniest and warmest southern part of the island, the area stretching roughly between Puerto Rico and Maspalomas. The zone is riddled with resorts, taking away the natural beauty and local character. You can't argue with the local climate though. Along with southern Tenerife, it's by far the warmest and sunniest region of Europe in the winter. Between December and February, Maspalomas, the key resort town in southern Gran Canaria, records average daytime temperatures of 21 to 23 degrees Celsius, 70 to 73 degrees Fahrenheit, and average nighttime temperatures of 15 to 17 degrees Celsius, 60 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Winter nights in Maspalomas are thus as warm as winter days in some of the warmest cities of peninsular Spain. And it's not just the temperature, the area also has a hot desert climate. This means it rains rarely, on average 1 to 2 days a month, and very little. Sunrise and sunset times are also merciful. While sunrises at 7:50 a.m. in December are late, in exchange you get sunsets at 6:10 p.m. With such a climate, barring occasional colder days, you can forget about the winter. Then we have Tenerife, the largest and most populated island in the archipelago. Like with Gran Canaria, the southernmost part of the island, stretching roughly from Costa Adeje to Las Galletas, is the sunniest and the warmest. The area experiences semi-arid climate, which gives it a slightly greener landscape than in the most arid parts of Gran Canaria. It has slightly more rainfall than southern Gran Canaria, but still only 1 to 2 rainy days per month. The temperatures stay the same. Average daytime temperatures are between 22 to 23 degrees Celsius, 71 to 73 degrees Fahrenheit, and average nighttime temperatures are between 15 to 17 degrees Celsius, 60 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. This is your second equally good option to escape winters in Europe. Both areas experience sunshine between 58 to 62% of the time between December and February. With the high temperatures and dry weather, you can't do better in Europe if you want to live in a highly developed, easily accessible area. The only caveat is that both in southern Gran Canaria and Tenerife, as well as La Gomera and El Hierro, which we're about to discuss in a second, you need to stay on the coast. Towns at a higher elevation, even at just 500 meters above sea level, above 1,500 feet, will already be a few degrees Celsius colder, about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Few buildings in the Canary Islands have proper insulation and heating, which means you may be freezing inside. Tenerife is also home to the tallest peak of Spain, El Teide. At 3,715 meters above sea level, 12,188 feet, the conditions in the national park surrounding the volcano are definitely winter-like in the winter, with regular frost and snowfall. So if you're ever bored of the summer-like winters, you can go there to remind yourself of how good you have it on the coast. Tenerife and Gran Canaria are your two best options for urban living in a warm, winter-free climate. What if you want to enjoy summer-like winters but don't want to live in a densely populated area? Then we still have two choices left, La Gomera and El Hierro. La Gomera is located to the west of Tenerife. As the third smallest island after El Hierro and La Graciosa, La Gomera is much less popular among tourists. It has never developed mass tourism infrastructure and is a bit of a hidden gem. The southern part of the island, including Valle Gran Rey and Playa Santiago, has pretty much the same climate as southern Tenerife. Valle Gran Rey is the main tourist village of the island, while Playa Santiago is more accessible as it's located right by the airport. Due to the heavily mountainous geography, it takes over an hour to drive the 45 kilometers, 28 miles, separating the airport from Valle Gran Rey. Both towns enjoy reliably sunny, warm, and dry winters, offering the same pleasant winters as southern Tenerife or Gran Canaria without the crowds and busyness, but also without large supermarkets and other amenities. Lastly, we have the second least visited island after tiny La Graciosa, El Hierro. Located the farthest south and west, the island feels the most remote out of all the islands in the archipelago. The southern part of El Hierro, the town of La Restinga, enjoys the same arid, warm, and sunny climate as the previous three areas. This small village is the southernmost settlement of Spain. It's known primarily for its marine reserve. Similar to Valle Gran Rey and La Gomera, it takes a while to get to La Restinga from the airport, which is located on the opposite end of the island, a 55-minute drive away. El Hierro is sparsely populated. With a little over 10,000 people, it has the smallest population out of the 7 main islands. La Graciosa has fewer residents, but it's 9 times smaller. Due to its remoteness, El Hierro is a perfect fit for those who want to enjoy summer-like winters while also being as far away as possible from the rest of Europe. Moving on from the Canary Islands, another option we have is the archipelago of Madeira and Porto Santo in the Atlantic Ocean. The region belongs to Portugal and is culturally, economically, and politically European, even though it's geographically in Africa. Similar to the Canary Islands, Madeira is a volcanic island. Unlike the Spanish archipelago, it's a wetter, more humid, and cloudier destination, particularly its northern side. Just to give you a rough idea, the sunniest areas of the Canary Islands offer sunshine about 60% of the time in the winter. Meanwhile, the sunniest areas of Madeira offer sunshine about 50% of the time in the winter. That's still a lot, but less than in the sunniest parts of continental Europe. Funchal is the capital city of the island. Its coastal neighborhoods enjoy some of the warmest and sunniest winters in the archipelago. The city enjoys daily highs of 20 to 21 degrees Celsius, 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and nighttime temperatures of about 13 to 15 degrees Celsius, 56 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Other areas of Madeira that are as warm but also sunnier include Ponta do Sol and Calheta, of which the latter is particularly popular among tourists due to its artificial yellow sand beach. As with the Canary Islands, any areas of the island at an elevation are noticeably cooler, up to having outright winter conditions on the tallest peaks at an elevation of over 1,800 meters above sea level, 6,000 feet. The neighboring small island of Porto Santo doesn't have the mountainous geography of Madeira, which makes it drier. It's also slightly cooler. Average daytime temperatures in the winter on this island are between 18 to 19 degrees Celsius, 64 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and average nighttime temperatures drop to 13 to 14 degrees Celsius, 56 to 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The last option for those who want to exchange cold winters into wet, spring-like weather is the archipelago of the Azores. Full disclosure, we're talking about properly wet weather. This may not be an improvement for many, but may be interesting to some, so it's still worth briefly discussing as the islands offer some of the most beautiful landscapes of Europe. Out of the 9 main islands of the Azores, the most southerly and easterly islands of Santa Maria offer some of the warmest and sunniest conditions. Don't expect the reliable climate of the Canary Islands, though. Average daytime temperatures are between 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, while nighttime temperatures drop to 12 to 13 degrees Celsius, 54 to 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures don't tell the full picture, though. The problem is that despite being the sunniest island, Santa Maria still gets 11 to 12 days of rain per month between December and February. And just to remind you, the Canary Islands receive half of that during the entire 3 months of winter, not during a single winter month, as is the case with Santa Maria. This results in sunny weather in the winter only 34 to 48% of the time on the sunniest island of the Azores. While much less than in the previous destinations, it's still a big improvement over London with 23 to 28%, or Birmingham with 20 to 28%. This concludes winter-free island living in Europe. Some of the destinations offer summer-like and others spring-like winters, but none are unconditionally hot all the time. But we've run out of options, haven't we? Turns out there's one more alternative. Chapter 4. Hot, year-round European living. That's not really in Europe. Now we're getting into the true realm of cheating on this topic. European destinations that are properly hot year-round but aren't in Europe or anywhere close to it. Yet they still politically belong to Europe. We've talked about the Canary Islands, Madeira, and the Azores. These 3 regions are also known as the outermost regions of the European Union. There are 6 more outermost regions of the European Union that I haven't mentioned yet. Unlike the aforementioned archipelagos, these remaining 6 territories are so far away from Europe that nobody would ever consider them European. Yet they still form a part of the European Union. Yeah, I'm cheating a bit here, but all these destinations are still partly European. First, we have French Guiana. Located in South America, it's the largest outermost region, comparable in size to Austria or the United Arab Emirates. 98.9% of the land territory of French Guiana is covered by primeval rainforests. The region has a tropical rainforest climate with daily highs of 29 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, and average lows of 22 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, even in the coolest months. Except for August to November, it rains a lot every single month of the year. If you're looking for a truly tropical European destination, this is one of such places. Next, we have the outermost regions in the Caribbean. France has 2 overseas regions and 1 overseas collectivity in the Caribbean. The overseas regions are Guadeloupe and Martinique. The former is comparable in size to Fuerteventura in the Canaries, while the latter is about 33% larger than Lanzarote. The 2 islands have a tropical rainforest climate tempered by the ocean. Temperatures rarely drop below 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and 23 degrees Celsius, 73 degrees Fahrenheit at night. The overseas collectivity of France is Saint Martin on the island of Saint Martin, shared with Sint Maarten, a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The entire island is so tiny that it's 20% smaller than the area occupied by Paris. Located further north than Guadeloupe and Martinique, Saint Martin has a sunnier tropical savanna climate with average daytime highs of 29 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, and average lows of 23 degrees Celsius, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. These regions are your typical Caribbean paradises, with beautiful beaches, rainforests, warm waters, and cold drinks. The concept of winter doesn't exist there at all. Lastly, we have outermost regions in the Indian Ocean. France has 2 overseas regions in the Indian Ocean. They're Réunion, occupying an area 3 times the size of Madeira, and Mayotte, slightly larger in size than Malta. Réunion lies east of Madagascar, close to Mauritius. Mayotte is close to the African continent between Madagascar and the coast of Mozambique. Réunion is a very popular tourist destination. Mayotte is much less developed than Réunion, being the poorest of French regions. Réunion is mountainous and has a diverse geography with several different climates. The administrative capital of Saint Denis features a tropical monsoon climate with a hot, humid wet season from December to April and a drier season the rest of the year. Even in the cooler, drier season, average daytime highs reach 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, while nights stay at a comfortable 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Mayotte has a hotter tropical savanna climate with daily average highs of at least 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, in all but 1 month, July. Like Réunion, Mayotte has a wet season roughly between December and April. This concludes all the possible options for skipping certain aspects of winter or escaping winter altogether in certain non-European parts of Europe. If you're interested in warm destinations in Europe, don't miss my deep dive into the ugly truths behind living in Southern European countries. This stuff is rarely talked about, but you may need to hear this reality check before you decide to move to Southern Europe. Just click the thumbnail that you see on the screen now, and I'll see you there in a second.